I'm about to craft a fresh, original YouTube narration that dives into where the Jessie cast is now. But first, I'll set the scene in a way that feels like a creator thinking out loud. Not a recap, but a visual, opinionated exploration with sharp takes and personal insights. I'm already curious about how child stars navigate longevity after a big Disney-era hit. Personally, I think the real story isn't just about fame. It's about identity, typecasting, and how the industry treats them as they grow. What makes this really interesting is that Jessie isn't just a nostalgia dot. It's a launching pad that intersected with streaming transitions, social media, and a new generation of teen-friendly franchises. In my opinion, the show's ripple effects reveal a lot about career resilience and rebranding in Hollywood. Let's peel this apart in a way that feels like a candid conversation with viewers who grew up watching the show and now want to know what happened next, what stuck, and what didn't. First major idea: Debby Ryan's trajectory post-Jessie. What I observe is a pattern you'll recognize across many Disney alums. She stayed consistently in front of the camera, moving from sunny TV roles to more varied, adult-tinged projects. From my perspective, that shift matters because it signals agency, choosing projects that stretch her range rather than clinging to a single formula. What many people don't realize is that maintaining visibility across different genres, Disney, Netflix, indie films, requires strategic timing and networking, not just talent. If you take a step back and think about it, this is how a performer remains relevant when the initial audience ages out. My read: Debby's career choices suggest a deliberate pivot from child star to a credible, adaptable actress who can balance commercial and artistic projects. This ties to a larger trend: the long arc of child actors evolving into multi-hyphenate entertainers who navigate streaming-era opportunities rather than relying on one franchise. Second major idea: Peyton List's continued presence in teen-centric and streaming properties. I'd argue her path reflects a particular playbook: leverage a recognizable family entry character to unlock broader teen genre roles, then extend into streaming platforms with serialized formats. From my vantage point, this matters because it demonstrates a sustainability model. Evolve from a Disney Channel identity into a broader TV and streaming resume that appeals to both nostalgia and new audiences. What people often miss is how interconnected the ecosystem has become. Projects like Cobra Kai and School Spirits show how actors can cross between networks while maintaining a consistent brand. One thing that immediately stands out is how modern careers don't rely on one studio or one type of show. They rely on audience recall and cross-platform presence. In the big picture, List's journey echoes the industry shift toward long-tail visibility via streaming ecosystems rather than single-screen dominance. Third major idea: Cameron Boyce's legacy and the conversation around his untimely passing. This topic isn't just a footnote. It reveals how a beloved child star is remembered and how his work continues to influence audiences through later projects and fan culture. What I find fascinating is how his tragedy intersected with charitable legacies and Disney's ecosystem, prompting fans to revisit his descendants' work with a new lens. This raises a deeper question: how does a star's early death shape the narrative around a franchise's future and the community of fans that grew up with them? In my view, Cameron's story underscores a broader pattern about the fragility of fame and the lasting impact artists leave behind through roles, philanthropy, and the memories of fans who keep their work alive long after the credits roll. Fourth major idea: Sky Jackson's post-Jessie journey into voice work and TV appearances, plus personal milestones. Here, I see a blueprint for young actors who diversify early. Voice acting, live action, and reality-friendly appearances can create a durable career path, even when major roles aren't at the center of the frame. From my perspective, this matters because it demonstrates adaptability in a volatile industry. What many people don't realize is that voice work often provides a steadier rhythm than on-camera gigs, especially for someone who can ride multiple genres across animation and live action. If you look at the bigger trend, it's about building a portfolio that's not tied to a single character or show, something many aspiring actors could emulate to weather the shifts in television and film markets. Fifth major idea: Cameron Boyce's continued presence across Disney-related projects and animated series. The pattern here is incremental diversification, from Jessie to Bunked to voice roles and occasional live-action gigs. What this really suggests is a quiet sustainability strategy, maintaining visibility through a steady stream of smaller or genre-blending roles rather than a single blockbuster. A detail I find fascinating is how his career spans both live-action and animation, which indicates versatility that resonates with younger audiences who consume content across formats. What this implies on a bigger scale is that adaptability and genre crossing can become a competitive advantage for child-turned-teen actors in an era where streaming and short-form content dominate. Sixth major idea: Kevin Chamberlain's shift from on-screen actor to a broader acting portfolio, including directing and producing where applicable. In my view, this highlights a common pivot for veterans who want longevity beyond the kid narrative arc. From my standpoint, the move toward varied roles and creative collaborations signals a maturation of professional identity, from mere character to creator and collaborator. What many people don't realize is that the value of a stable acting career often sits in the quality of relationships and the ability to take on mentor-type roles, even if they're not the lead. If you take a step back, this mirrors a broader industry trend: senior actors leveraging experience to stay relevant and influence upcoming generations of talent. Deeper insight. Taken together, these trajectories illustrate a landscape where early fame must be renegotiated for lasting relevance. What this really suggests is that success for child stars now hinges less on one breakout moment and more on continued, diversified storytelling across streaming, film, and animation. The pattern also reveals how the audience's relationship with these actors evolves. Their younger fans grow up with them, and the performers must grow with that same audience by choosing projects that reflect more mature perspectives while preserving the core warmth that originally drew viewers in. Closing thought: the Jessie cast's current careers aren't about abandoning what made them famous. It's about expanding that foundation into a durable, multifaceted presence. If you're an aspiring actor or content creator, the takeaway is clear: diversify, stay curious, and build a portfolio that lasts beyond a single character. What would you like to see next from these actors? More behind-the-scenes stories, or a deeper dive into their most impactful roles since Jessie? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and what other Disney-era casts you want to see covered in this style. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe for more creator-led analyses, and drop your theories about the cast's future projects. This is the kind of career map I'd want as a viewer: insightful, opinionated, and anchored in real industry context.